All right, I think we're going. Welcome to another one of these. Hope you were doing just fine this Tuesday. I have completely lost track of days over the course of the past couple weeks. I still have to sign into work every day, which so I'm not released the normal days. So I have some sort of anchor. It's just like being able to do whatever I want during the day like makes me totally lose my sense of time apparently, or just when I'm playing games like in the middle of the day, that it just sort of breaks my brain as far as a routine goes. Still playing too much Story of Seasons, and that's about it. Streamed Yoshi's Crafted World yesterday. I don't know what's up with that game. It just makes me very sleepy. I figured like Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons games would do that to me too, but like I don't know, maybe it's like the soundtrack or something for Yoshi's Crafted World. Just super sleepy. I'm like, I don't know if we'll make it through the first world of this game. It's too sleepy. But yeah, it ended up being pretty good. We'll probably finish that. That might be a good, I don't know if the game is as long as it looks, like maybe 5-6 streaming sessions before that one's done. So not only a couple weeks. Shouldn't be too bad. Nice little thing to play through. But yeah. What to talk about today? I guess the other thing that I was working on was for this month, which thankfully I was able to, with Substack, that's the platform I'm using to put together the newsletter and send it out to people. So if you do want to check that out, you don't have to have a Substack account. You just put your email address on the newsletter of your choice, and you get that delivered whenever they end up posting something. Pretty nice thing, honestly. I was able to copy the format from my last one and just replace the content, basically. Just have a couple little blurbs to fill out before sending that out on Thursday. So I try to send those out on the last day of the month, just as a very good indicator that it is like a monthly roundup type thing. Also, I never know if like the last day of the month will be a day that I also post something on the site that I would like to include in the newsletter. So since it includes all the haikus days and the human nature posts, doesn't matter about the educational site page posts because those go up in the middle of the month, but the others are tied to a day. So if the last day is a Tuesday or a Sunday, then that's when one of those will come out. So today a haikus day is coming out, and even though I did my last human nature, that doesn't mean I'm done with content for the month. So I kind of have to wait until that last day for that to kind of align. I don't know if I want to stick with that. Like maybe it's okay. Like putting together the newsletter isn't hard, so it's not like making it like super difficult for me, but if it ever is, then maybe I'll change something about it. But one of the things that was kind of interesting, just as I'm going through some of like, I don't know why I started holding my face up with my hands. But when I was going through one of the sections that I do exclusively for the newsletter called Eco News, where I just track a bunch of environmental stories or research results or study results over the course of the month, and I find 5 of them that I think are pretty neat and interesting or worth sharing, or maybe just kind of funny or cute, and put those in a section at the end of the newsletter. And one of the things that just like kind of gets me, it's one of those things like as I'm paying more attention to science than I used to, like I always appreciate science and believe that it should be a guiding force in just a lot of things, anything in the world. Whoa, knocking my table. But it's kind of curious, like actually being more, what's the word? Not involved. I guess you could say that I'm involved, but aware of kind of the conversation around certain aspects of science or things that you're interested or in, or like a particular, like a specific thing in science that you're into, is that we don't know nearly as much as we think we do, or at least as somebody outside of like actually studying something would think. Like when I was growing up, I'm like, oh yeah, science is great. Humans are like super duper smart, and we have some really, really super duper smart people who know everything. And science is effectively infallible, and we know everything that we need to know. And like that couldn't be farther from the truth. And I think a lot of people share that kind of mindset. When I think about it, and kind of how just this year has been, where people just take science completely out of context just to pick out certain aspects of things that they want to say and like run with it, that it really does seem like humans as a whole treat science like a magic system where it's not like this thing where the actual thing is just the pursuit of knowledge, and we're trying to learn new things or get a better understanding of older things. Like there's so much about just humans or our planets, how we impact things that we don't know about, that we're still learning about. And before I paid attention to that research, I just assumed that we kind of had it covered and we knew what we're doing and we're doing it for a reason, and that's just not true. And then a lot of other people who just like see science in action, like we see with a worldwide pandemic where a lot of people are trying to figure something out really fast, and people are getting information faster than we can like show results or like get an accurate picture of what's actually going on. People's interpretation, their magic system breaks. It's, wait a second, we don't know everything already? Why couldn't we do this? We're the most advanced thing that ever happened on this planet. We should be ready for this. But that's not science. Science isn't a magic system. It's just a constant pursuit of knowledge and bettering yourself. And it's above all else a process. And it's not just we're facing this problem, throw science at it, and you'll get an answer in a minute. It's throw science at it, you'll get an answer whenever an answer happens. And it could be days, it could be minutes, it could be hours, it could be days, it could be months, it could be years, it could be decades or centuries. There are research studies that go on for decades. And some of the longer running things, not around humans, just because we have a hard time tracking that. We don't live very long in the grand scheme of things. That like keep tracking that for a long time. And a lot of what we're studying is more short term. So it's just kind of a fascinating thing living through something like this and getting more involved in the process of science over the course of this year. It sort of showed me that, which is interesting. Like I could definitely see where I came from younger and just like, oh wow, we know so much stuff, and every time I learn something and I'm like, and we've known it for years, that's fascinating, and clearly we learn really fast and we just know things almost instantly. That's what it felt like growing up. That's what science to me was growing up. But I kind of missed the point where it's not about that instant learning or instant knowing. It's the process to get there over however long it takes to get to the truth. Something that's just doesn't reflect very well when you're constantly watching information being cycled out again and again, and people are just like, what do you mean something changed, or we learned something new? This is the power of science. It's like, yes, and we're learning very fast. But as I said, it's not a magic system. It's not you cast a global level 6 pandemic cure spell and everything's done. It's we have spells for those, but they take years to decades to actually cast. Especially when we know as little about something as we do here. So yeah, kind of interesting. Just going through some of those eco news blurbs and headlines and summaries of just research results and things like that is just showing me more that it really isn't just that magical know-all, cure-all, panacea. It is and always has been a process, and respecting that reality is just what it is. But yeah, and that's probably about it. I don't have too much else to say outside of, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Yeah, I don't feel like I should feel like I have to make all of these really long. Might be kind of nice to do like 7-minute tops things just to have them, but I'm thinking more like knowing what I'm going to say and saying it. These are all kind of rambly and just practicing speaking in front of a camera for whatever purpose. So maybe someday I'll get really good and be able to keep that down to a thing, or maybe I'll just do multiple kinds of things, not just these kind of things where I'm rambling, but also use that as like hey, I should take that and make it into a real thing, and also use this channel to do kind of more meaningful scripted things that are worth sharing. These things are hardly worth sharing. I digress. I'm getting sidetracked by my own sidetracking. So, again, I will not be here tomorrow. I might do something on Thursday and Friday again this week, since I'll be doing kind of a digital New Year's celebration. I might be using my computer for something else on New Year's Eve, and whether or not I want to use the last day that isn't a normal weekend of my vacation doing a video, we'll see. So if I'm not here, you know why, or at least if you were here and I'm not there here in a couple days, you know why. Let everybody else know. Just spread the word. Trust you. Believe in you all. You're good people. All right. And have a wonderful Tuesday and a Wednesday, potentially the rest of the week if I'm not around. And we'll catch you then. See ya.